The story was about a guy who lost everyone he loved because his talents were too cruel. On November 5, 2024, a mysterious stone monument fell from the skies, landing in the middle of Country R. The shockwave from that explosion destroyed the entire country. On that day, the 5 major powers of the Blue Planet initiated a blockade in that region and began scientific research. And with that, an era of change began. 1 year later in Hangxiang Province, China. Hey Lin Lu, take a look at her. 20 years old, single, and coming from another country looking for someone to adopt her. Do these people from other countries not understand what patriotism is? The friend insists, hey, talk to me. Why are you spacing out? Why are you crying? But Lin Lu is thinking, why am I at my old workplace? I was in chaotic times. 1 year after the monument fell to Earth, this place became a brutal game. Many people awakened different talents and extraordinary abilities. But on that same day, access to secret realms and waves of destructive monsters invaded the world. Humanity suffered greatly and tried to use their awakened powers to protect themselves. The world order was completely destroyed, and the only law left was the law of the jungle, where the strongest survive. To evolve my talents, I participated in countless battles. However, the enemies created ghost-level creatures and spiritual demon monsters. My brother, who had always been by my side, died in a cruel way trying to protect me. He sacrificed his life so that I could escape the secret realm. But the enemies were already waiting for me outside. All of this started because I refused to hand over the Ascension Crystal. I already knew that in chaotic times, weakness was the greatest sin. He asks the guy next to him what day it is today, and he replies that it's November 12, 2025, and asks, are you crazy, man, or did you drink too much last night? I've already told you, you need to take it easy. But Lin Lu is more interested in the information. Wait, November 12, 2025? That's 3 years ago, right on the day of the awakening. It's still morning, so there are a few hours before everyone receives their talents. Suddenly, a man in a white suit and tie arrives and says, Lin Lu, this isn't the first time I've caught you distracted during work hours. You don't align with the company's values and will be fired. Go to the finance department now and settle things. You don't need to come back tomorrow. The protagonist remembers immediately. This is Supervisor Wanshu Xiao. In the previous life, this bastard awakened a talent that turned him into a demon. He could exchange people's organs and limbs for resources to level up. With the power he gained, he created an illegal prostitution ring. I never imagined I'd run into this criminal again. The protagonist doesn't say anything and turns his back. The supervisor yells, huh, this bastard. He was raised by a bandit. I don't even know how he got a job in this company. The guys nearby agree and say, exactly, man, and he even went against your orders. He's getting too cocky. The bald guy next to them, however, says he didn't expect him to be so shy. But he just leaves without saying anything. Clearly, he knows the protagonist doesn't care about these side characters. But he remembers, in the previous life, I punched him right in the face at this exact moment. However, I ended up being taken by the police because of it. Everyone's awakening happened while I was in jail. Since I was detained for 10 days, I missed a crucial period, when everyone was just beginning to develop. My brother Long Zhengdong, who had been in prison for 15 years, was also released. And we 2 orphans with no home had to steal to survive. That's when our life began to improve. My brother got out before the end of his sentence because he awakened an A-rank talent. He always kept me by his side and protected me so we could increase our abilities together. Then a situation got out of control, and to protect a girl, I accidentally killed someone. That's when I discovered the secret of my awakened talent. I could steal the ability of any opponent I killed. You absorb the soul energy, and your F-rank talent has risen to E-rank. The problem was that my brother was a very stubborn guy. He didn't want me going around killing people just to steal talents. However, this made it so that I couldn't help much. And in the face of all the evil we encountered, I couldn't protect him, nor could he protect me. In the end, we both lost our lives. But I swear, in this life, I'm going to change everything I did. I'm going to make them all experience the hatred and fear I went through. If kindness didn't breed kindness, I'll handle things my own way. I'm going to be the most cruel, evil, and immoral person there is. I'll take full control of my destiny and use all the cruel people as fuel. I want to take the throne of invincibility. In the bathroom, Lin Lu of the Blue Star. Welcome to the new era. From today onward, Blue Star will open different instances in secret realms in various locations. Enter these instances and develop your combat talents. Congratulations, you have obtained a rank F talent, Plunderer. Effect: when you kill a living creature, you will steal 1% of a random attribute or 1% of a talent's ability or effect. Cooldown: 5 days. It's exactly the same thing I received in my previous life. As someone who has returned in time, I know the strategies for all the most well-known instances near Hangxiang. Inside a room, fully prepared with gloves and rope, Lin thinks, here he comes. From inside the room, he observes the supervisor talking on the phone, who says, don't worry, man, I awakened a rank as talent healing comprehension. If you follow me, we'll do really well. You got a rank D ability, that's not bad. We can form a company. Don't worry, after my awakening, what's that old man going to do? He doesn't even know he'll be a target of my talent, and I'll consume him with my healing. From behind the door, the protagonist comes with the rope and loops it around his neck, saying, Well, it's good to see you again, Inspector Wang. You're my first sacrifice after my regression. The guy drops the phone and tries to use the power of healing. This is the creature I can form with my special power. But the protagonist already says, unfortunately, you won't have time to heal. It's over. Time for the next Manhwa. You absorb the person's soul, and your talent has risen to rank E. The creature keeps healing the guy even after death, in a way, reviving him. And with that, he goes on killing and killing, rising from F to E, from E to D, from D to A, until finally his A-rank talent evolves to S, and Lin says, "Phew, that was worth it. Let me check my status. When you take a life, you can plunder one of the following. All attributes, effect talents, ability effects, or soul power. In my previous life, my brother and I fought hard, but I only managed to raise my talent to rank A. In this life, just a few hours after my awakening, I've already reached rank S. This is unbelievable. Let's see what the creation of form does. Come forth, my substitute." He called forth the Black Knight, solo leveling style. Substitute Black Emperor, rank S, strength 200. The normal strength of a person is 10. In addition, it has agility 200, intelligence 1, with lots of life and lots of energy. The only problem is it can only move 1 meter from the summoner. Emperor's power, strength steal. When you cause damage, there's a random chance to steal 1/5 of the enemy's attribute abilities. Lin thinks, damn, an S-rank summon is really powerful. This ability of his makes him strong even when facing powerful creatures. Substitutes produced by an S-rank talent have a maximum of 200 points in attributes, except for HP. SS ranks reach 400 and SSS ranks reach 600. The Black Emperor came maximized in 3 of the attributes. The weaknesses are that he's not very intelligent and not very fast. Besides, he can't move too far away. Anyway, it must be one of the most powerful creatures for close combat at the moment. Black Emperor, dispose of this body. Wang Zisho, in the past life, you became a demon by abusing your talent, didn't you? Now you've died in a bathroom. That was a fitting end for you. The world's going to be a mess soon. They'll take at least a month for them to figure out it was me who did this. By then, I'll already be invincible. Walking through the city, he thinks by now most people should be awakening their talents. Even the group chat from my class, which was dead, is now full of people talking. In the group, a chubby guy writes, "Hey Tushin, your talent is trash, bro. I awakened the S-rank wish book. You could call me Gaddy." The protagonist, seeing this, thinks, now I remember, this sociopathic maniac awakened the wish book. He used it to abduct the beauty of our class, Fang Mingxiu. Later, he used unknown means to kill a bunch of innocent people. He even formed a criminal alliance called the Smiling Coffin. In this life, for the sake of Hangxing Province, I'm going to have to take it. He then calls the guy. At the Tomato Hotel, the guy is in a room with a creature holding the book while smiling, saying, "That girl got all excited. She's even calling me daddy." This substitute grants any wish. It's incredible. Wishmaster, I want to completely possess the body and mind of Fang Mingxiu. The entity responds, "Master, your wish will be granted." The chubby guy celebrates, "This creature is amazing and Fang Mingxiu is so hot, I can't lose her. I've already sent her a message. Hey Fang Mingxiu, you there? I'm at Tomato Hotel, room 414. I want to talk to you face to face. Come here now and wear black stockings." The girl responds that she's on her way immediately. The damn otaku thinks this Wishmaster is awesome. As long as I use this right, I'll rule the whole world. At that moment, Lin calls him and says, "Hello, Liu Ming. What's up, man? I awaken an S-rank talent that lets me create a substitute. Yo for talking face to face." He responds, "So you awaken an S-rank talent too? I'm at Tomato Hotel. Come over. Can you make it here? Room 414. Lin says yes, and that he's on his way. But he's already thinking the guy is an idiot. Now I just need to figure out the secret of his talent and maybe use my Wishmaster to do something. 5 minutes later, Lin has already arrived. He opens the door, greets him, and asks, "Tell me, Lin Lu, what's the secret of your S-rank ability? I'm waiting for someone else to arrive." Lin says he'll tell him. The secret of my substitute is... Suddenly, the Emperor is already behind him and bam. He punches the chubby guy in the mouth, sending him flying, crashing into the wall, completely wrecked. Your S-rank talent, Plunderer, has been activated. Please choose one of the 4 options: talents, abilities, attributes, or soul power. Lin thinks, normal people like him don't have many attributes, and if they enter a dungeon or change professions, they don't have many abilities either. Soul power might increase my talents, but an S-rank isn't enough for me anymore. So the best option is to steal his talent. You have successfully plundered the target's talent and obtained the S-rank wish book. Effect at level 5, you can choose one of 3 wishes. First battle wish increases your critical chance by 20% and doubles the experience you gain from killing monsters. Second wish, Steel Wall, increases your dodge chance by 20% and every 10 minutes it can negate any attack. Third wish, Good Luck, increases your luck by 10x. After switching between wish forms, there's a 5-minute cooldown. At that moment, Lin says, "The wish book is indeed something great. Come forth, my substitute." Wishmaster S-rank, not very strong, but very intelligent and with a good range of movement. With the book in hand, he says, "My great master, this Wishmaster obeys you. Wish book grants any wish of the user, but the cost depends on the difficulty of the wish to be fulfilled. The protagonist, watching the monster talking, is impressed. The monster says that it can talk because it's a functional substitute. I wasn't made for combat, but to make use of the book in my hands. As you might imagine, the greater the wish, the higher the cost. If you wish for something too big, you might fall into a permanent collapse. Since my intelligence is higher than other creatures, I can even help you formulate plans. Lin then asks, what's the most intelligent way to use you then? The master responds, I'd say the simplest way would be to seek information as it doesn't consume much energy. At that moment, Lin understands instead of asking for a treasure, it's easier to ask where there's a treasure for him to take. And if the wish involves another person, it will depend on their mental strength. Lin asks, if I ask you to release my brother Shendong from prison, how much energy would you have to spend? The master explains, that wish would consume all my energy and I'd be inactive for a while. Not to mention it's such a complex process that at most, I might expedite his release but not be able to free him completely. The protagonist starts thinking, damn, these wishes have to be very logical and I can't just ask for anything. It seems like the best option now is to ask for information on other S ranks. The Emperor disposes of the body, and at that moment, Lin notices a watch on him. He then asks, Wishmaster, what do you know about my substitutes? Could their appearance be related to the person's abilities? The Wishmaster responds that yes, abilities and appearance are influenced by the essence of the user. The protagonist keeps thinking, the Black Emperor doesn't have any time-related abilities. Could it be connected to my regression? Well, never mind, I won't be able to figure that out right now. With enough power, solving any mystery in this world won't be hard. After these questions, the wish talent is on cooldown, so I'll go explore some realms. As he climbs the stairs, look who shows up, the high-density girl that the chubby guy called. Now let's see, is Lin going to humiliate or forgive the poor girl? Suddenly, the girl snaps out of the wish's influence and thinks to herself, my god, why did I send such stupid messages to that disgusting fat guy? I need to get out of here right now. Nothing happened, my friends. At the reception, Lin extends the room's stay so no one finds the body and then leaves. The plot then shifts to a guy named Yu Taiji talking with the goddess of time, who's saying, Master, during our time-traveling journey, some unknown entity stole my abilities, and that's what caused the return to this moment. Confused, he says, I can't believe it, even after everything I did, this happened. I, Yu Taiji, unleashed an SS of rank ability, time-space travel, right at the beginning of the Awakening era. With this power, I faced even gods, traveling the world alone. But I encountered the Guardian of Waidshua, a formidable opponent from the clan of logical beings. His attack did something strange. It reduced my 4,000 time reserve to 40. But barely, I saved myself and returned to the past. I wanted to return to a week before the Awakening, but it's already today and someone stole my goddess's talent. What the hell is this? The goddess informs, Master, I sense this secondary power is in the possession of someone in the city of Hangzhou. The guy looks and asks, are you sure? And how did your power end up with someone else? The angel responds, unfortunately, it seems the creature forcibly stole it from me. Are you going to try to retrieve it? The master looks and says, if he can steal powers, it suggests he's extremely powerful. You're not suited for combat and are still weakened. It's not worth trying to rush things and confront him now. Aren't you sure he's not part of the illogical clan? The goddess says not to worry. She's sure her power is with a human. Taiji then says, for now, let's hunt in some dungeons. Meanwhile, we'll form a team, and once we have enough strength, we'll settle the score with that criminal. In front of a gate, the guard gives a message. You should enter this place with great caution. It's important to form a team of 5 before starting the exploration. Caution is essential, be careful. The guys, however, respond, so what if it's a dungeon, it's just a magic hold, man? We're going to go in, wreck everything, and post it on TikTok because we're insane. Another one comments, man, I heard that after entering, we'll get a class change. Dude, this sounds a lot like a game I used to play. Hey, why don't you go in and take a look? But the friend responds, why don't you go in and take a look? Everyone knows the best strategy is to wait for others to go first and see what happens. Until they notice. Wait, is someone going in? Looks like it's the first brave one to enter. The guy comments, man, the young ones are really brave. Wait, but aren't you supposed to enter in a team of 5? Why is he going alone? Lin going in alone thinks, in my last life, I ran away from this place, but today it will be beneath my feet. Your body is being digitized and a backup is being created. All damage you take inside the secret realm will be restored when you manage to exit the instance. On your first 2 deaths, you will be resurrected and sent out of the realm. But on the 3rd time you won't return. Please choose one of the 6 basic classes: Mage, Archer, Warrior, Shield Bearer, Assassin, or Priest. In my past life, I chose Warrior. It was a pretty average class, but now, with 2 S-rank talents, I need to make a choice that suits what I want to do. Wishmaster, do you have any recommendations for my class? He responds, Master, I recommend you choose the Mage class. After you reach rank 20, I can help you obtain the secret class, Prophet Mage, and the Black Emperor will cover the biggest weakness of a mage, which is close combat. Lin is impressed, as ranked talents can even provide secret professions, but I feel like the Wishmaster has some strange motive. If I choose Mage and then Plunderer on my second advancement, what profession will I get? The Mage responds, I don't recommend you become a Plunderer. That would create something weird, like a close combat mage. Lin thinks, as much as the Wishmaster's advice is important, I have to remember that Plunderer is my innate talent, and for now, the Black Emperor is my main focus. The problem is that his agility is at its limit, which makes fast professions a better choice like Assassin. Wishmaster, if I choose to become an Assassin, and then a Plunderer on the second change, what will my profession be? The Master responds, you'll become a Rogue Outlaw. With this, you'll maximize the advantages of the Plunderer, but I still recommend you become a Prophet Mage. It's a profession that has a much more elegant and relaxed vibe. Lin just ignores this. I choose Assassin. Sorry, Lord of Wishes, but this is the best choice. You've changed to the Assassin class, and your attribute panels are being generated. The two most important attributes for an Assassin, agility and attack speed, have increased, along with movement speed, which is also above average. He receives 5 Assassin skills: Backstab, Quick Reflexes, Sudden Strike, Phantom Blow, and along with that, an Apprentice Dagger with +6 attack. With this, I'll make the most of the Black Emperor. Please select the number of players to enter the dungeon exploration. The limit is 5. Of course, he chooses 1. The current power of the Black Emperor is that of a level 20 or 30 boss. These low-level dungeons won't be a challenge. Besides, the fewer people who enter, the better the reward. The Goblin Lair dungeon ranges from easy to nightmare difficulty. Please choose. Obviously, the protagonist goes for nightmare level. System warning, this is only recommended for level 10. Are you sure you want to enter at level 1? He confirms immediately. Entering the dungeon, it's filled with jacked goblins. There aren't even walls, apparently, it's just a straight-up brawl. Red-Eyed Goblins, level 5, the protagonist already reaches forward, activating Battle Wish and Black Emperor. Go, Emperor, destroy them. The Emperor lands a critical hit on the Red-Eyed Goblin, and the big guy unleashes a barrage of punches, with blows flying left and right, plowing through everything, just farming Goblinland. You killed 15 goblins, and for being 4 levels below, you received an additional 500 experience. Thanks to Battle Wish, your experience was doubled. You have reached level 6. The Emperor could only activate his strength-stealing ability 7 times because these creatures are too weak. Now let me take a look at my attribute points. You can allocate your attribute and skill points freely. Would you like to allocate them now? Assassin weapons can be enhanced with poison, and after the second awakening, I can convert agility into strength. Maybe the best choice is to allocate everything to speed. And the same goes for my skills. I'll allocate everything to speed-related skills. Increase agility by 16 points, strength by 4 points, and skill points into those related to speed as well. For now, I'll only put skill points into Swift Strike. It's the one that will reduce my stamina consumption the most. In my past life, people started realizing that some of the instances were kilometers and kilometers in size, so many would get exhausted even before the fights began. As a result, professions with low stamina became undesirable. The money dropping from monsters, I don't need to worry about that. If you kill a boss, everything that's dropped will appear in the chest. With this, the Black Emperor continues punching and beating down enemies. Level 6 wolves, level 8 ice goblins, they're getting stronger, but I'm already at level 7, so dealing with these minions isn't a problem. Next up is the dungeon boss, who apparently ate a lot and won't be getting up from that chair. The goblins have kidnapped some girls. Obviously they're in the mood like Goblin Slayer, episode 1. Just tearing at their clothes, these guys should be arrested. Call the cops on this dungeon. The protagonist looks on, a large goblin, a shaman, and a fire goblin. Their numbers are increasing, but there's still no match for the Black Emperor. Lin then says, even though they're just NPC humans, it still pisses me off to see this scene. With that, he orders the Black Emperor to attack, and the punches keep flying. The guy is seriously overpowered, but soon there will be creatures even he won't be able to handle. The shaman goblins start summoning skeletons. The protagonist charges forward with the Black Emperor covering him with his speed and agility, already face to face with the monsters. As he reaches them quickly, the Emperor is right behind, landing a perfect hit. Only one is left, and he commands it to come at him. Come at the Black Emperor, that is, you sly dog. The Emperor throws another punch, and the goblin's blood sprays out like ketchup. The creature falls to the ground, and Lin even says it was too weak. But good goblin is a dead goblin. You've killed a total of 83 goblins, including the wolfskin goblin, the large goblin, the shaman, and all the others. A total of 9,700 experience points, and with that, you've advanced to level 9. The creatures begin to disintegrate, the coins gather, and congratulations for clearing the dungeon. The treasure chest is being generated. The protagonist activates the Wishmaster's effect, asking to increase his luck by 10x. Since he entered alone and was at a lower level, the chest generated is SS rank. As always, things like no deaths, clearing the dungeon quickly, the number of people, and your level influence the quality of the chest. Based on your evaluation score, the rewards vary significantly. Originally, in these low-level dungeons, the best you could receive, even on nightmare difficulty, was a black steel chest. Chests can range in quality from bronze to immortal, and within each chest, there's a subcategory from normal to epic. With the Blessing of Wishes, I managed to get gold chest, Now that's a good start. Open the chest. He receives 10 healing potions, some mana potions, some stamina restoration potions, an epic helmet, a regular wolf fur jacket, a frosty beginner's scepter, and a goblin's longsword. Additionally, he gets a special fireball skill, but it can only be equipped by magic class users, 150 copper coins, 15 gold, and 7 silver coins. He comments that silver quality items are still pretty mediocre. Moreover, he finds a normal class guardian armor that can be used by any class and an epic short sword that can only be used by assassins. Using the Wishmaster's effect is indeed very powerful. Even for a high-level chest, it's rare to receive 2 golden items. Let me take a look at the short sword's attributes. Besides ignoring part of the enemy's defense, it has a bleeding effect that continuously deals 5 damage over 10 seconds. Considering this is the start of the game, this is a very rare artifact, much better than the beginner's weapon, and it even has a bleeding effect. He also checks out the light armor, which has an additional 10% dodge chance, and then he equips everything. With that, the system creates a backup of the character. Choose a name to be displayed in secret realms and dungeons. Black Emperor. He used the name of the creature itself. Global announcement. Congratulations to the player Black Emperor for becoming the first to clear a nightmare-level dungeon. You have received 10 lottery tickets. Outside, the supporting characters are all in shock, saying, "Damn, he even got a global announcement." Black Emperor. How did he already clear a nightmare dungeon? The girl is already wondering if he's good-looking too. The guy with the Goddess of Time is just watching this. Damn it, how did this guy already get something like that? In my past life, this announcement happened much later. The guy asks the goddess, "Are you sure the timeline hasn't changed?" She responds, "Yes, master. When you go back in time, the person returns to their body, but without memories unless they are the bearer of the power." There are 2 possibilities. Either this is a really weird coincidence, or this Black Emperor stole your power in the future and came back to clear this dungeon. But my power doesn't increase physical strength, so how is he clearing the dungeon alone? He replies, "That's something I don't know either, but either way, we need to find him as soon as possible. If his growth speed surpasses ours, he could become a problem." The protagonist is already holding the Genshin Impact-like wish system in his hand. In my past life, after 3 years of hard work, I could only use it 5 times and got a Diluc on the Wheel of Fate. At that moment, he immediately summons the Wishmaster and says he needs to ask something. The spirit responds, "I delight in serving you, my great master." Lin explains, "I want you to help me analyze the best time to use these wishes." The Wishmaster congratulates him on obtaining the tickets, saying that he can receive items ranging from SSS to F rank. Many of these items can only be obtained from the Wheel of Fate. Items that can extend your lifespan, create a copy of your own talent, enhance your talent levels, increase your energy, and magical crystals are all very rare. Of course, the probabilities vary greatly, and an SSS item has a 0.01% chance. So even with your luck increased by 10 times, you might not get any S-rank items. The protagonist asks what happens if he uses a wish for luck to guarantee that he receives an SS item. The Wishmaster responds, "To give you an SSS item, I would need to sleep for 6 months, and then you would receive an SSS item after 6 days. An SS item would cost 190 energy, and an S item would cost only 10 energy. Lin thinks putting the creature to sleep for 6 months would be a huge disadvantage. I need him to identify people's abilities and find out whose talents I can steal. For now, an S-rank item is the best option." He asks about getting 2 S-rank items, but the Wishmaster says that won't work. That would require 110 energy. Lin responds, "Alright then, increase my chances of getting an S-rank item or higher." The Wishmaster instantly responds, "Your wish has been granted." And with that, the ticket is activated. A bright light explodes and a clock appears spinning rapidly. At the right moment, the protagonist stops it and the 10 items are rolled. Various crystals of ranks D, C, E, and F appear, but among them, a rare S rank extreme crystal. These crystals increase energy and strength for a short period, which is quite good. The only SS item I got was this crystal. Lin breaks 2 crystals, which allows him to inherit an additional 3% plus 1% of the value of this instance. He throws 2 crystals to the Black Emperor, who crushes them. With this enhancement, the creature's range has increased by 6 meters. There are still Ascension crystals and Rage crystals, not to mention that the longevity pills can be taken outside. I still have these 2 here. Who should I give them to? The Wishmaster is practically drooling. "Great master, I suggest you give them to me. That way, you won't have to worry as much about energy." Lin agrees and hands them over. With that, the Wishmaster's energy recovery has doubled. Unfortunately, I can only extract 4% of the values from this place. Without a spatial crystal equipped on my body, I can't take anything with me, but that's okay. I've already strengthened myself quite a bit, 1 step at a time. With that, he leaves the place, and outside, everyone is commenting. "Damn, it's really hard, man. I've already lost a few resurrection chances. I shouldn't have entered." Hearing this, Lin thinks, "For now, no one really knows what to do. I need to take advantage of this to develop quickly enough to stay far ahead of everyone else. Now I need to go to the Sky Tower dungeon and claim the first clear achievement. The level in that place is infinite." In front of a blue pillar, people are discussing forming a team. Anyone have a little sister to form a team? Anyone here need an archer? One of the guys next to the protagonist says, I heard the person who got the farthest reached level 8 man. Lin stands before the Ascension Tower, the Sky Tower, knowing that in this place, every time someone advances 10 levels for the first time, they receive a ticket. I need to speed up. Then, the greatest danger in a man's life calls out to Lin. Hey there, handsome, want to form a group? The protagonist, all Sigma, just keeps walking, thinking, why would I form a team? This chick would only slow down my progress. He's already inside, just ignoring her. He thinks, even with these weak creatures, you still get 4 experience points at level 1. This tower is very beginner-friendly. Now come on, Black Emperor. It's time to work. The Emperor arrives with a barrage of punches. Even Lin joins in, and within 20 seconds, they've cleared the first level. And because it was the fastest clear, his name will be recorded. On the second floor, there are some dogs, some jacked wolves. Once again, the Black Emperor handles it. A notification window pops up for the players saying he cleared the second level in 30 seconds, the third in 40 seconds, and the fourth level in 52 seconds. Outside, people are baffled, saying, this Emperor is too fast, but no way he's doing this alone. Who is this guy? Meanwhile, the protagonist is already at the door of the 10th level. Attention, upon entering the 10th level, you can only exit after clearing the area or dying. I remember in my last life, the first person to clear level 10 was Leo Xiping, but now that I'm here, I'm going to claim the level 10 and level 20 achievements. Facing the level 10 kobold boss, the creature charges at him with a sword, but Lin manages to dodge just in time. Taking a direct hit from this enraged beast wouldn't be a good experience. Lin thinks as he calls in the Black Emperor to face the creature head-on. The Emperor punches the kobold in the chest, sending it crashing into the wall, but the boss's aura activates, and for the first time, the Emperor is pushed back as well. It's not as easy anymore, Lin realizes. The kobold boss, wielding 2 swords, leaps at him again, slashing through the air. The Emperor barely dodges, appearing behind the boss midair and lands a blow square in the middle of the kobold's head, dropping it instantly. Congratulations to the player Black Emperor for being the first person in the world to clear the 10th floor of the Ascension Tower. Lin receives more tickets as the outside world erupts in disbelief. No way, it's the Black Emperor again. Who is this guy? Meanwhile, scientists analyzing mysterious rocks are concerned. It seems clearing dungeons is triggering some mechanism here. The inscriptions indicate a rat-level disaster will occur on the blue planet. One scientist, stylishly adjusting her glasses, turns to the others. Wait, this is going to happen on the blue planet? Are the dungeon creatures going to invade the world? She continues, a disaster is approaching and difficult times are upon us. We all need to be prepared for the worst. This guy conquering all the dungeons, Black Emperor, isn't it? Can we find him? Meanwhile, the protagonist is busy with his Geisha system, hoping for something good. Finally, he pulls an S-rank item, his space crystal. Now I can bring items into reality. The real crystal can be used directly, and the attributes transferred to Earth reach 7%. When I break these crystals inside the dungeon, part of my dungeon stats will carry over to reality. Lin thinks as he gives the Black Emperor another defense crystal and a strength crystal, leaving him with 2 lottery tickets and 275 fragments. He decides it's best to accumulate more fragments before trading them for useful items. But before going to the next level, it's better to sell these equipment items first, since the earlier, the more expensive. The currency of this world and the real world can be exchanged. High-quality equipment is extremely valuable. Lin reasons. He lists the equipment, weapons, and special items in the shop, and within seconds, everything is sold. Startled, Lin realizes, whoa, it's sold instantly. It was worth 5 million in cash. I underestimated the buying power of these wealthy players. While it's nothing too crazy either, farming these low-level items is easy. He plans to climb the tower to level 20 and get the second class change, which will take all night. After exiting, he'll be able to obtain another S-rank talent. The 3 most notorious guilds during the chaotic times were the Smiling Coffin, the Great Tomb of Nazareth, and the Octopus Society. All these guilds have extremely powerful members with rare talents. After I deal with these individuals, I'll head straight to the City of Sinners, the perfect place to steal as many talents as possible from bad people. Everyone in that place doesn't deserve forgiveness even after 1,000 deaths. He reflects on the past. The people who killed me and my brother didn't seem to have any S-rank talents. They were probably freelancers hired by some guild. Once I settle the most important matters, I'll seek vengeance for the past. The scene shifts to a guy on a computer who seems to be a scammer, trying to lure people searching for good jobs to China. He says, they might have improved the system, but I know what to do. Just set up a fake company, get some people working for a while, and then announce we have plenty of job openings. Another fat sheep has taken the bait. The boss will love this one. Back to Lin, who is now entering the 11th floor of the Ascension Tower, where he's facing skeletons that, to be honest, are the scrawniest skeletons that I have ever seen. Lin stands amidst the skeletal ruins of the tower, thinking, damn, this place is nostalgic. I remember spending so much time here with my brother. killing skeletons to complete the full skeletal set. But there's no time for sentimentality now. Emperador, attack them all. Don't leave a single one standing. Give them a JoJo-style beatdown. The Black Emperor charges, delivering a flurry of punches to the skeletons, reducing them to dust. Fast forward to level 17, where Lin encounters the skeleton commander. The commander thinks he has a chance because Lin is only level 13, but he's swiftly taken out by a perfect assassination strike from behind. With 3 years of combat experience from my previous life, these lower floors posed no threat, Lin muses. Within 8 minutes, he's standing on the 20th floor, face-to-face with the skeleton Lord Tedemir, a formidable foe with 2 abilities. Shadow Summon, which brings forth a legion of skeletons when he draws his sword, and a crushing sword strike. Tedemir raises his massive sword, summoning over 200 skeletons. This floor is way tougher than the previous 19, Lin notes. The skeleton army charges, but the Black Emperor meets them head-on with a powerful punch. Now surrounded, Lin realizes this is the quickest way, but it's risky. You know what? Come to me, Wishmaster. I want the Black Emperor to deal critical damage until the skeleton Lord Tedemir is defeated. The Wishmaster appears with his book, Great Master, your wish has been granted. Even Lin is surprised, can I really make a wish like this? The Black Emperor is now surrounded by a critical aura, confusing even the boss. Lin commands, go for it, Emperor. The Emperor closes in on Tedemir, who suddenly disappears in a cloud of smoke. Where did my Emperor go? Lin wonders. But then from the shadows, the Black Emperor emerges, landing a direct hit on Tedemir's helmet. Each attack deals over 500 damage, rapidly draining Tedemir's health. With 100% critical hit rate, the boss is defeated in record time. Destroyed and in pieces, that's the fate of a demon. You have successfully defeated the skeleton Lord Tedemir. You gain 700 experience for killing a higher level creature, plus 200 bonus experience for the battle wish. You have cleared the 20th floor of the Ascension Tower. The Black Emperor continues to pummel the skeleton's remains until Lin tells him to calm down. Another global announcement. Congratulations to the player Black Emperor for being the first to clear the 20th floor. People outside are shocked. Is he going to advance even further? But how? You must be exhausted after advancing so far alone. Lin knows that floors 21 to 29 are a labyrinth. I just need to follow the shortest path stored in my memory to reach the 30th floor boss as quickly as possible. Soon, Lin stands at the entrance of the level 30 boss room, his level much lower than recommended. The system advises your level is too low. It's recommended you return another time. But Lin laughs, this system is amusing, giving me suggestions, and enters. The boss is the Minotaur King, towering over Lin with his massive hammer. Level 15. Foolish human, do you know what you're about to face? Lin responds, your palace is actually a giant trap, isn't it? The Minotaur, confused, shrugs it off, whatever. Black Emperor, go now. The Minotaur swings his golden hammer and the Black Emperor barely dodges the earth-shattering blow. Lin thinks based on my past life's experience, it's unwise to rush from floor 21 to 29 through the labyrinth. The monsters you avoid might be summoned by the king. The Black Emperor strikes from above, but the Minotaur tries to catch him, narrowly missing as the Emperor slips away. Lightning crackles as the Minotaur smashes the ground, setting off a chain reaction. In my past life, countless players lost to these traps, but I know the right plan, Lin says. He calls the Wishmaster again, asking for critical hits for the Black Emperor. The Emperor lands a perfect blow to the Minotaur's eye, then another to its mouth, delivering a barrage of punches that drains the boss's health rapidly. The Minotaur roars, my horde of warriors, I command you to come and protect your king. Lin grins, so he's finally started. It's our time now. The Black Emperor activates his special ability, which gives him a chance to steal one of the boss's abilities with each strike. He begins stealing. Ground Explosion, Life Drain, Fury Dance, Attack Points, the King's Command Skill, and 30 Agility Points. The poor Minotaur is left completely disoriented. Although the stolen skills don't come with full power, they're still potent. The thrill of stealing really is something else, Lin admits. Congratulations, you have reached level 18, even stealing EXP from the boss. At that moment, the door behind them opens and a group arrives. The creatures from the other levels have finally shown up just in time. Warriors, listen to my command, retreat. These fools came at the wrong time. Let's test the power of these new abilities and see if they're worth anything. Hammers fall to the ground, kneel, and they all obey. The scene shifts to the dungeon of the Mushroom Kingdom. Kneel before me. This is the Mushroom King. The guy with the Goddess of Time appears, saying, congratulations, truly worthy of an SS ability. The Emperor's vision. I've been hearing your name for a long time, Ru-Terang. Ru-Terang responds, who are you and why aren't you afraid of my Emperor's vision? My name is Yu-Tai-Ji, a person who exists outside the limitations of time, and I can make you stronger. The guy asks, what do you mean by outside of time, and why did you come to find me? Yu-Tai-Ji takes his hand as if to kiss it and says, because I need your help. You are the only person who can make monsters kneel. Little does he know the protagonist has already done the same. Meanwhile, the Black Emperor is moving forward, beating down the monsters that are all kneeling. They don't even resist, they're just getting beaten up. Wow, This raised a lot of dust. The protagonist moves on to levels 19, 20, and 22, and in 16 minutes and 29 seconds, he finishes the 30th floor of the Ascension Tower. Once again, this is announced to everyone. Outside, they have no idea that the Black Emperor is walking right past them, all cool and composed. Next time, I'll make my class change. Now sitting in a restaurant eating a big bowl of ramen, Lin thinks, I'm sure the class change will be harder than the warriors. Not to mention my past experiences won't help me in this case. At the next table, a guy slaps a girl in the face and says, "You useless healer, always messing up our team." Lin just thinks, oh boy, these colleagues of yours, girl. But he overhears their conversation. Hey, do you know Lin Lu's brother? That guy's a criminal who's in prison. My table's right next to Lin Lu's. Is he going to steal my stuff? Better be careful. Turns out, they're all from the protagonist's old company. These guys were all cronies of the supervisor, always trying to ruin my reputation. The girl, with tears in her eyes, begs for forgiveness. Please, I didn't do anything. But the guy kicks her and says, what good are your apologies? It's your fault that Xiaoji died. She's being beaten up, and the protagonist just watches, calmly eating his ramen. So it's true that one is missing, Lin thinks. Xiaoji really is dead. They sit down at the table. Hey boss, bring us 3 bowls of ramen and some of your best dishes from the menu. Also bring this girl here. The guy kicks her in the forehead and adds, get up and stop pretending to be dead. She tries to get up, almost passing out. She says, when the supervisor was alive, they weren't like this. But the guy runs his hand through her hair and says, you're talking about the supervisor? But he's not here anymore, darling. The protagonist, observing from the side, thinks, the supervisor will live in your hearts because I've already taken his life. The bald guy grabs her and says, in the past, you were the supervisor's lackey, and now you'll be ours. Lin continues calmly eating his ramen. I remember they had a close relationship. It seems the world's changes have also changed them. At the table, the bald guy asks, Captain, now that Xiaoji is dead, our team is short on members. What are we going to do? The guy with the red tie says, you're right, man, we need to recruit new members quickly, and we need to get past the 2nd floor of the Ascension Tower. Meanwhile, the poor girl is on the floor, healing the guy's feet and giving him a massage, until one of the side characters spots the protagonist and says, look who's here. Long time no see, Lin. The girl on the floor recognizes the name too. The guy approaches and says, hey old friend, where did you end up after getting fired? I've missed you so much, brother. He points to the food. Look at this good food. You can have it. Life's tough for you, isn't it? Let me ask you, Lin Lu, did you awaken any talent? I can help you make a lot of money. What do you say? Lin, glancing to the side, remembers that this situation also happened in his past life. In my previous life, I was in jail for 10 days, and as soon as I got out, this guy came to talk to me. Back then, Lin was naive and said, my talent is called Plunderer, but it's only rank F. I told him, sharing the details of my ability. The guy, still talking, sneered, man, that Lin Lu really was raised by a criminal. Even his talent involves stealing for crying out loud, and it's rank F2. Evil should suffer. He and his brother seem like they haven't learned their lessons. They're facing the rightful retribution. The protagonist thinks, he made that offer to me, but all he really wanted was to laugh in my face. Lin stands up and says, goodbye. I have no interest in joining you. Confused, the guy asks, you don't want to join us? How are you going to play in the tower alone? Kid, stop dreaming. You think you're going to become the next Black Emperor. Little does he know. But then here she comes, that damned girl. Lin knows in his past life she always messed with him. The girl pleads, brother Lu, please save me. Suddenly, she's on her knees begging. Lin asks, what do you want me to do? She grabs his hand and says something cryptic. Mount Everest is big and round. But he only replies, you must be mistaking me for someone else. I can't help you. In the background, the thugs are approaching angry. One of them yanks her by the hair, saying, oh, you filthy wench trying to seduce him, huh? You think Lin Lu has the ability to save you? You think he has a high-level talent? I doubt he has anything better than I do. The bald one adds, these guys and their brother were just a couple of beggars. What kind of talent could they possibly awaken? If I had known the Wen family would favor criminals, I would have gone and stolen something too. But then the guy says something he shouldn't have. Maybe I'll also develop a romantic interest in Wen Wuxi. Now he said something that the protagonist didn't like because Lin looked at him and warned, I advise you not to say that. But the side character is relentless and retorts, say what? You and your brother have always lived off others and are just a couple of petty criminals. You're deluded if you think you deserve anything more in life. Our boy is almost ready to summon the Black Emperor, but he relaxes just in time. One of them says this kid doesn't know that times have changed. Let's show him what the law of the jungle means. Perfect, I brought some stuff from the dungeon that I've been wanting to test on him. These fists that we enhanced in the dungeons are lethal. He moves to punch the protagonist and says, if you don't want to die, kneel and call me daddy. As his hand swings towards Lin's face, it looks like Lin is about to get hit, but he's the one who lands the punch. He stops both of them easily and says, I've lived by the law of the jungle far more than you two have. The girl is already falling in love. When she was trying to seduce him, the artist was more excited. Now she's all beaten up again. The boss thinks, Two useless idiots. How did you not defeat him? He pulls out a blade, saying that Lin must be looking to die. He charges, but Lin dodges and lands a solid hit on the guy's jaw, putting him to sleep. He delivers another kick. Lin is incredibly calm in this fight. He knees another guy in the chest, sending him crashing into the wall. The guys are all beaten up, and Lin thinks, this bunch of weaklings. It's almost humiliating to have to fight them. The bald guy is confused. How is Lin Lu this strong? What level of talent did he awaken? Maybe at least S rank. What do you think about joining him? It seems like a good idea. Brother Lu, do you need more members? We're willing to throw our dignity away and do all the dirty work for you. Lin replies, I already said I don't want to form a team, but you just don't believe me, do you? But there's a suspicious-looking guy watching everything from above. Brother Lu, please forgive us, man. We were blind and ignorant. Please forgive us. The guy upstairs, calmly sipping his tea, says, I didn't expect to find someone this strong in a place like this. He turns to the people next to him. Put someone smart to keep an eye on this kid. The lackeys nod in agreement. This is Bai Hongli, one of the 8 masters of the Beiki Society Hall. Someone who awakened an S-rank talent. The guys on the ground are all desperate, kneeling before Lin, who's walking away. The girl on the floor is sprawled out, saying, that kind of man is the strong guy I want. Lin is leaving, but she headbutts him right in the butt. This seduction technique is new to me, he thinks as she says, Brother Lu, forgive me. When I disrespected you at the company, it was because the supervisors ordered me to. I had no choice. You're not mad at me, are you? But Lin, ever the Sigma, simply says, let go of me. The poor girl pleads, no, Brother Lu, please take me with you. I'll repay you with whatever you want, as many times as you want. But he just pushes her away and says, learn to respect yourself first, woman. He walked away, leaving her there thinking, how could he do this to me? I was the flower of the company, and I wanted to work with him. The guys behind her start mocking her. Oh, me, you think you can seduce anyone? In Brother Lu's heart, there's already Wen Yuxi. You don't stand a chance. She glares at them, furious. What do you mean? I'm way better than Wen Yuxi. But they just respond, you're not even good enough to carry Wen Yuxi's shoes. She's not happy and activates her aura. But then the guys activate theirs too and say, Lin Lu's already gone, you know. You better watch what you say. Meanwhile, the guys who got beaten up are struggling to stand, stumbling around. Damn it, Lin Lu wrecked me. Seeing that they're all messed up, Xiaomei sees her chance for revenge. She slaps one of them across the face. This is for the way you treated me. The guy tries to retaliate, but she slaps him again. You want to fight back? You want to die. Up above, the psychopath watching says, damn, she hits hard. I like it. One of the lackeys suggests, let's recruit her for the guild boss. She could beat you up all the time. He considers it, maybe that's a good idea. We could use more women in our guild, and make sure to gather information on that guy who just left. It'll be easier to manipulate and blackmail him if we know some of his weaknesses. Alright, boss, I'm on it. The girl, having just beaten up the 2 guys, declares, I'm going to put you under my feet too, Lin Lu. Suddenly, a man with glasses approaches and says, excuse me, miss, have you heard of our Beiki Society? She asks if that's the famous guild. He responds, yes, our guild is interested in promising players. Would you like to join? All excited, she agrees, thinking, Lin Lu, just wait and see what I'm going to do to you now that I'm in a big guild. She signs her name and he says, from now on, we're family. So tell us, Miss Kim, who was that guy who left, and what's your relationship with him? He seemed pretty rude. She puts on an Oscar-worthy performance, saying he was a friend from work, but he deceived her feelings and betrayed her. The man asks, does this guy have any weaknesses? Something that could help you in your revenge? She thinks for a moment and says, I know his weakness. It's a woman named Wen Yuxi. Meanwhile, Lin is casually walking through the city, but he's being watched by a peculiar guy. On the phone, the guy receives some news. Did you hear? Our boss hired a girl. He really knows what the brothers need. The protagonist, who's no fool, has already noticed he's being followed. Why is this guy following me, and what's his background? The guy on the phone hears something else. They reveal the weakness of this guy. It's a woman named Wen Yuxi. Looks like our boss is planning to control Lin Lu by kidnapping this woman. After you determine Lin Lu's next move, we'll investigate this girl. Lin, who was walking ahead, suddenly pulls a Michael Jackson move, spins around, and comes face to face with the guy, thinking, I want to see who's bold enough to follow me. As he passes by, our boy thinks, I've seen this guy somewhere before. I don't remember his face. The guy, completely lost, bumps into the Black Emperor and immediately takes a punch to the mouth, smashing into the wall. Lin asks, now tell me who sent you. The guy, all messed up, says, brother, you've got the wrong guy. But Lin responds, just passing by. You've been following me since I left the ramen shop. Lin grabs the guy by the ear and realizes, so he's from the Beiki Society. But something's off. The Beiki Society shouldn't have appeared this early. He pulls the guy's face close and says, I'll give you one last chance to tell me why you were following me. But the guy insists, I already told you, man. I was just passing by. You've got the wrong person. Lin stares at the guy, thinking the assassins from the Beiki Society have always been known for never revealing secrets. It looks like interrogation is going to be a waste of time. With that in mind, Lin calls out, Wishmaster, appear and do your job. The Wishmaster materializes and asks, "What are your orders, Master?" Lin responds, "I wish for him to reveal the purpose of following me." "Master, your wish has been granted," the Wishmaster says. The guy immediately starts spilling everything. "My name is Sun Lang, an assassin working for Bai Hong Lai. We captured a beautiful woman from that shop." Lin is confused. "Captured Xiao Mai?" The guy confirms, "Yes, she provided some details about you. The master of the hall ordered me to investigate you and then to investigate a woman named Wen." Lin still can't grasp why the Beiki Society would capture Xiao Mai. The guy continues, "Wen you see is your weakness. The master said he would use her to threaten you and turn you into one of his subordinates." Lin feels a cold sweat and thinks, "Xiao Mei, you wretch. How could you do this to me? In my past life, during the 3rd year of the disaster, Hong Lai killed Wen's sister. To avenge her, I didn't hesitate to take every risk. Unfortunately, Hong Lai was killed by monsters, and I never got my revenge. But it seems that in this life, I'll have to kill him myself." Lin then commands the Black Emperor, "Get rid of this fool's body. Throw him in the trash." He then asks Wishmaster, "If I ask you to make it so that no one from the Beiki Society can harm Wen, how long can you protect her?" The Wishmaster responds, "Unfortunately, with my current power, only 24 hours. Lin, now determined, says, "That's enough time. I'll make sure to kill Hong Lai without any issues. First, I need to complete my class advancement. 24 hours will be sufficient. Wishmaster, protect her for 24 hours. "Certainly, Master. Your wish will be granted." With that settled, Lin declares, "Now it's time for me to head to the 2nd level of the Secret Realm." At the Secret Realm's Assassin Alliance, the area for advancement is still quite deserted. He was wondering what he would find inside and hoped that everything would go well. As soon as he crossed the portal, he was surprised. A white-haired guy welcomed him and asked if he was interested in learning high-level secrets. His name was Desmond Miles, and he was the assassin's instructor. Our boy got excited because it seemed like he would be a simple NPC, the kind you would only have to do a few missions for. But the guy immediately sent him to the Snowy Peak to kill 30 creatures and a boss. The creature was called Penguin King, and our boy said he was on his way. He hadn't been with Desmond for even 5 seconds and was already buried in the snow when suddenly something stepped on his back. He turned to see what it was and found a level 20 black snowman on his back. Our boy was impressed that it had been a stealth attack, but he immediately called for the Black Emperor, who easily blocked the attack. He knew that for the assassin quest, he would need at least 30 items from these creatures, so he ordered the Emperor to finish it off, who struck it in the neck, knocking the monster to the ground. It was much easier than he thought, and thus he received the first item. He told the Emperor that this was exactly what they came for, and then went to retrieve the creature's horn. However, at that moment, the two were surrounded by a multitude of creatures, and some of them seemed to be transforming into a yeti. Then the boy began to draw his sword and said that the real fight was about to begin. The Emperor charged forward, and our boy warned him to pay attention to the attack because these creatures have intelligence. Both creatures dropped the item he needed to complete his quest. Suddenly, they found themselves face to face with one that was about to crush them, but the Emperor easily cut it down. At the same moment, our boy sliced off the other arm. With that, the poor monster had nothing left to do. Our boy told the Emperor to toss it up. It turned into an Olympic event, and he gave it a good kick, tearing the monster apart. A multitude of creatures approached, but he shook the ground to disorient them all. He turned around and told the Emperor to finish them all off. With the creatures stopped, he unleashed a JoJo-style sequence, and then it was just punches, smashing heads. More items were being obtained. Another sequence from the duo, more items being obtained, and so it continued for quite some time. The system already showed 37, but he only needed 30. What he found strange was that these creatures seemed endless and kept appearing, and from the throne, the Penguin King said he would tire the two out before their fight. He calmly sipped his drink. Then he ordered the spirits to return. Something suddenly appeared in front of the protagonist, but he didn't let it slip and tried to grab it in midair. However, it slipped out of his hand and continued in a certain direction. Above the Penguin King, a spirit bomb formed, and he ordered the soldiers to be reborn. The crystals returned toward the protagonist. They hit the ground and created a cooling effect. From it, the black snowman emerged. However, our boy already noticed that something was coming from a certain direction. Now it was clear why he wasn't able to finish this. At that moment, he ran past the creatures and told the Emperor to follow him, and the two ran in the direction from which the crystals had come. Our boy was like a princess on the monster's shoulder, and the penguin was ordering the creatures to catch up with the two. But our boy already asked the Emperor to throw him to the top of the mountain, and immediately he obeyed. In midair, our boy drew his buff dagger. "My son, this boss seems easy," because he went straight to the main base, and immediately obtained the Penguin King's item that he needed. With that, the other creatures disappeared, and he realized it was the end. The next scene showed him back with Desmond, saying he had brought all the items he asked for. The guy said he could choose between 3 ordinary assassin classes: the Rogue, the Windrunner, and the Dark Apostle. However, he could try to obtain secret classes. Our boy says it's obvious he would because that's what he's here for. Desmond warns that if he chooses this option, there's a chance he might die. However, the excited protagonist says he's willing to take any risk. The guy laughs and says he likes that impulsiveness in him. Our boy knows that in his past life, several people managed to get the secret class, so it shouldn't be that difficult. But the guy says it's too late now, and there's no way out of it. He's going to send the boy to the void region where the test will begin, and he tells him to feel free to choose. At that moment, the protagonist wakes up in the middle of nowhere. He seems unable to notice anything around him. It's as if he's in an endless void, which makes sense with the name. However, it's not so empty after all because the fool stumbles. And with that, a laser appears in front of him. In fact, several lasers appear around him in various regions. He approaches a red laser to see what happens. That laser grants the class of Fugitive, and he remembers that this is the one recommended by the Lord of Desires. However, he's curious about the other two. The blue one is the Shadowless class, and he saw that it seemed stronger, with better specializations than the other. He imagined that the color of the pillar signified the quality and rarity of it. This means that the golden one surely had the best. He went there and made contact. With that, the Swordstorm Master profession was revealed as a legendary profession. It had much higher stats and better skills. Not to mention, he hadn't even heard of anyone getting something that powerful in his past life. If he could get a class like that, dealing with that society wouldn't be so difficult. The question that remains is why the Lord of Desires was hiding this from him. He orders him to leave, and Keith presents himself immediately. He asks why the Lord was lying, feeling a bit embarrassed and angry that the boy is so smart. However, embarrassed, he says he would never have the courage to lie to the boy. It's just that, in his judgment, the outlaw class was the safest choice. The protagonist asks what he means by that. The Lord of Desires then shows him the compatibility and success rate he has with that profession. Our boy really thinks that 1% compatibility is very low. The Lord then showed the same stats, but for the Shadowless class. He then wanted to know what was so special about the Fugitive class that made him so confident. There the rate was 98 with 89 compatibility. Our boy says it seems like he's right, and the Lord thanks him. However, he then says that he doesn't feel like choosing the safest option. He had to choose the class with the best return. Confused, the Lord wanted to know why he would do something like that. However, he just grabs the Lord's shoulder and says that from now on, he will help him make choices and never make a decision. As he heads towards the pillar, the Lord of Desires says he understands. He then asks if it's possible to have 100% compatibility after learning the class. The Master says it is possible, but it will be much more difficult than with the others. Moreover, if he fails, he will become extremely weakened or in the worst cases die. Our boy responds that he's prepared for that. Not to mention that being weak for 20 days is the same as dying, since everyone will become stronger than him. With that, he slaps the Lord's face and warns that he's good at calculating probability, but forgot that he himself exists. And at that moment, he makes a wish. He wishes for the profession change to Swordstorm Master to be successful. The Lord of Desires says that the wish is his command. He casts a blessing on him, saying that now the wish will come true, and the chance for class transfer increases to 100%. Our boy feels enveloped in a golden aura. With that, the class change is initiated. Outside, Desmond can see that he chose that class, which is crazy because he's seen SSS rank people fail at it. In meditation, he thought that if he really wanted to obtain this, he would have to understand the true essence between the storm and death. After a while, he opens his eyes. Someone says he should be loyal to the wind, and also loyal to the sword, but above all, loyal to the heart. He would have to be the person who is always on the verge of death, but still never fears it. He should carry the sword as if it were his own heart and listen to the sound of the wind, because if fast enough, the sword and the wind are the same thing. In the Blade Storm class, the more times you cut, the fiercer the cuts become, and only those who face obstacles head-on can grow stronger. It is the only assassin class that never flees from combat. Outside, the Lord of Desires tells him to return soon. He was running out of energy and was about to fall back asleep. As soon as he finishes saying this, he begins to disappear. However, our protagonist says that now it all depends on himself. He starts to feel dizzy and tired, and his body falls onto the platform. Outside, his body also seems to collapse. It seems that Desmond doesn't care about him, leaving the boy face down on the ground. He stays there, collapsed, unable to do anything. And Desmond says that indeed, this is the price of arrogance. The rankings show that several people are finally reaching their first and second ascensions. Desmond laughs, saying that if the boy had been less arrogant, that title would have been his. Meanwhile, the protagonist tries to get up. The guy asks if he's still alive, and our boy says that indeed he is still number one. Desmond, startled, questions whether he really thinks he managed to pass the legendary test. At that moment, he takes a stamina recovery potion, and the guy finds it strange that he has something that good. He asks if he really passed the test depending on potions. Our boy just gives a little smile. However, Desmond keeps insisting, telling him to answer already. Our boy just asks if he doesn't feel a bit warm, and the cigarette he dropped on the floor now starts to burn the carpet. While he tries to put it out with his foot, Lin calmly walks out, thinking that there's no time to be chatting with this guy. He has to kidnap by Hong Li as soon as possible. Outside, it's already night. The class changed to 5 hours, and he has to kill this guy in at most 19 more. At that moment, he clicked to see the 4 messages he had received. It was for Yahello thanking him for everything he had done and saying she wanted to invite him for a warm dinner. However, he knew that this sneaky girl would never be that honest, so it must be something arranged by the Baki Society. But since he's really eager to take down these guys, maybe this is the perfect chance. Actually, Aomi is using the secret horse technique to recruit some guys to kill our boy. Then she receives 3 messages. Lord Tang stands up, but she says she has one more secret move and tells him to sit back down. However, he's more interested in the message Lin Lu sent about a place where he wants to meet her. Tang says she can show him those moves later and tells her to get up quickly. This girl was so motivated that she was furious she wouldn't be able to show off her techniques. In front of that table from the very beginning, it said that the rat disaster would start in 24 hours. The old man warned the blonde guy to notify all the countries that a disaster might be approaching. Meanwhile, in another region, Lin Lu was observing the moon. He received the news and knew it was exactly like this in his past life. However, he then noticed that this time it was happening 5 days earlier than usual. He knows that in this first disaster, the monsters will be between levels 1 and 20. Additionally, there will be several insect-type creatures that will give 4 times more experience points. Of course, for the non-awakened, the world will become a catastrophe. Back then, he couldn't help those he loved and in fact only made things worse. But this time, he will finally be able to protect them. When he was younger, he always lived in confusion, and his sister taught him many things. Even though he and his brother had stolen things from her family, after they understood what had happened, they forgave them. She always teased him for being so small, and he knew that in the most important moments of his life, she was there to congratulate him, like when he graduated from college. In all the important moments, his sister was there for him. But when she needed him the most to protect her, he wasn't there for her. So this time, he will take revenge on Bai Hongli. A car approaches on the road. Inside are the movement expert and Lord Tang. At that moment, he receives a message. He calls the guy Kagao's, but it seems to be Bai Hongli, and he says what he wants. Xiao Mai is impressed that even the guy she likes so much seems to be afraid of this person. He informs him that the test will begin next month, and he says it's fine. The guy says they awaken an SS as ranked person, and everyone's goal is to gather crystals for this guy. He just agrees while thinking that this damn Miyamoto Musashi is stealing everything that should have been his. Princess Yoshiko was supposed to be his, along with the entire future of the Baki Society. Before that day comes, he will need multiple crystals, and people like Lin Lu need to become his miners. He tells the girl she has to do everything to bring Lin Lu to work for them. She says not to worry, that she knows exactly what tricks to use. Of course, he says he knows those tricks of hers very well. When our girl was lying on the beach, she approached, confident that if she could take down Lord Tang, she could take down Lin Lu. With that, she came running and shouting for Brother Lu. She screamed that she had arrived and threw herself at him, but he just stepped aside, and she fell flat on her face. She turned around and said that fall hurt a lot, but at that moment he ignored her and asked where Bai Hongli was. She knew that was the name of the guy Tang was talking to and got confused. With that, she made a dumbfounded face, wanting to know what he was talking about. However, he approached and said it was the Lord of the Baki Society. She said she was indeed in the society, but she didn't know this guy. Lin Lu then turned and said that if that was the case, he had nothing to do with her. She said she still didn't know, but he could join the society and find out who he was. That way, he could get resources, money, and everything he needed. At that moment, Tang receives a call and answers, asking what she wants. It's Lin Lu who says that actually he already killed the girl. A startled Tang asks if it's that Lin Lu guy, who immediately tells him to come over since he knows he's nearby. He throws the phone into the water, and she realizes that the boy knows the whole plan. Tang starts clapping, saying it's amazing that he already knows. And he says that Lin can join them and they will do great things in this place. Lin asks if these so-called great things are the plan to restore this country so they can dominate everything. Startled, Tang asks how they already knows about this, but Lin ignores him and says that they all deserve death. At that moment, he summons the Black Emperor, who unleashes a barrage of punches while the guy tries to defend himself. He tells Princess Kaguya to retreat because she won't be able to withstand it. The monster, who apparently has airbag protection, says she understands. The Black Emperor merely lands a blow, but she leans back, dodging it. He launches another attack, but she blocks it with an umbrella. Lin Lu is impressed that she can actually hold off the Emperor. At that moment, he says she may be strong, but he just needs to take down Tang. The guy laughs, saying that if he can't kill her, it's impossible for him to die. At that moment, Lu realizes that he won't be able to hide his strength if he wants to kill this guy. While Tang is worried because his princess has already lost a lot of energy. This had to be a quick fight for both sides. He orders the princess to switch to blade technique and finish it faster. However, our boy simply made a wish that the next attack would be impossible for Tang to dodge. With that, the princess attacked, but the emperor dodged. Tang sees the strike coming at his face and wonders how he'll dodge it. He orders Kaguya to attack the protagonist as well, thinking that whoever is faster will win.